Hello, folks, and welcome back to Mash Metal. Right now, we are wrapping up the quadrilogy of the Ginny Screech, London City, and Violet's Tale. This will be London City and Violet's Tale combined, and the end of the story, let's say. Although there will be kind of a breakdown video following this, and really Ren's thoughts and my thoughts on the whole thing. That will be a fourth video that will follow this one, and then that will be the end of this series. Folks, I hope that you've enjoyed the videos so far, though. But yeah, so we're going to be getting into Violet's Tale in London City here in just a second. Still sipping on the Bourbon Barrel Imperial Milk Stout that has gotten me through these videos. Been a great beer to accompany these videos, and I thought, an Imperial Stout just seemed right for a story set in London. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into Violet's Tale in London City, shall we?
This is a song called London City. London City, far from pretty, such a pity, such a shame. An officer at 6'3" left shaken by the boy he claimed. Flashing lights and prying eyes of London frame our boys' the mind. Lady Karma span her web quite quickly as poor Jenny died. On this night, on holy night, a bitter twist awoke from sleep. The threads of fate had weaved their way between poor Jenny and young Screech. London City, far from pretty, devils live inside details. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's Tale.
Okay, so before we get into Violet's Tale there, just a quick talk about that part there, London City. It's interesting because especially in this day and age, it's almost I don't know what you want to call it, looked down upon to look at the police officer's perspective on these things. But we all, when you take somebody's life, even if you're doing it in the name of the law, you still feel something that hurts you for sure. So you can't take somebody's life and not feel anything unless you're a psychopath, I guess, or a sociopath. So even the police officer in this story is affected deeply by what has happened here, dealing with the murder of this young girl and then having to take the young man's life that committed the murder, and then he has to live with that. Yeah, and then of course just the interplay of the siblings there and how all those things worked out. But now into Violet's Tale.
All right.
Ren, quite a talented guitarist, obviously, and I always appreciate his choices guitar-wise, and all the music really I've seen from him so far. I think really interesting choices, stuff that you don't see a lot, especially in modern music, let's say. Yeah, so yeah, cool guitar choices. Again, I've really enjoyed the whole storyline musically as well as lyrically. So now let's get into the lyrics.
Ooh, Wait a second, I want to shut that rattle off because it's fucking eating me up inside.
The joys of live performances.
Has it fixed it? Ooh, can I do that again? Yeah. Would you let me? Ooh. Someone said no. Ooh. All right, I'll skip that bit. London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beeps, blood-stained sheets. Our wait lady weeps, she's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale. Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent stars. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tight but never left the room. I'll spare you of the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew.
So I actually know someone personally, quite close to me actually, that had this experience in their life. Very tragic to be abused by your father. Just a monstrous thing to do to someone. You know, if you know anyone that has been abused like this, then you know how much it affects them even much later in life. And it's a horrible thing to do to someone. Just one of the worst things that you can do to anybody. So just, yeah, I can't imagine where this story is going, but probably nowhere positive.
Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet, she fell fast. See, Stevie was a wrong'un, but he sure knew how to charm her.
So isn't it interesting how Violet goes from a abusive, manipulative relationship at home when she's young with her father to now she is with this guy that is, in Ren's description, a little prick, and he was a charmer. So again, being manipulated just later in life. So yeah, it's like a continuation of the same thing, just a different person doing it to you. Let's see where this goes.
Every night he took a tie but never left the room. History repeats itself, he paint her black and blue. And she never stood a chance. The devil comes to dine.
Man, you know, it unfortunate that you see this too often. You know, young girls getting abused at home, and then they find relationships that are equally as abusive later in life. And so these girls that become women never get a break. And so they're just stuck in this like cycle of abuse. They don't really know how to get out because they don't really have the mental faculties because they've never been taught how to look for a man that's actually worth a crap. Yeah. Ladies, I got to say, if you're seeing this and you're in that kind of relationship, run. I know it's hard. I know you feel like the guy's going to change. He's not. I know I'm just some guy on the internet giving you advice, but get out of those relationships. You don't need to stay. Run as fast as you can because it's not going to get better. It will most likely get worse. Yeah, no man should do that to a woman. It's just awful. Yeah, that's some deep stuff there. Let's continue.
Violet, why you always so quiet? On a bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why are you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fist when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood splat, bone crack, dig nap, paddy whack, one to the jaw and the two spat, detached, fist connect, disconnects the bone.
Seemed like a weird place for the crowd to cheer there. But nonetheless, as I was just saying, so this story is getting worse, as they always do. So now looks like the violence is stepping up in this relationship. Yeah, that's typical of these kind of relationships. I've known too many girls in these kinds of relationships, and they never get better. Yeah. And also, crowd, why are you cheering for this? I don't understand why you're cheering. There's certainly other reactions that you could have that would be fitting, but cheering seems like an odd choice.
A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess, he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you such a little liar, Violet? Why you always so quiet, Violet? Do you think I want to do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet.
Ladies, I hope that if you have found this video, if you've either this or the original, either way, I hope it's had an impact on you. And if you're in this kind of relationship, I hope that you are making plans to get out as quickly as possible. For all the reasons that Ren is stating in this song. It never gets better. Nope.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady rushed to Paddington, is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim in Brighton City, far from pretty. 2005, a lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. Tragedy or a miracle? It happened on these very streets. Two twins aligned side by side. A girl named Jenny and a boy named Screech. Thank you.
Wow. What a performance. What great storytelling throughout. Although a tragic story, absolutely. For all parties involved. You know, the mother Violet leading a terrible life, ending in tragedy. Both of her children's lives, as we know, end in tragedy. And yeah, unfortunately, we see these series of events play out too often. That's the reality of the whole thing. But folks, this is actually not the last in this series, because we are going to in between the Ginny and Screech song, Ren does a little bit of a kind of a spoken word kind of thing. And so we're going to talk about that after this video. So it'll be linked at the end. Folks, if you did like this video, then please hit that like button. We appreciate that. Also, here's other videos from us right here. Here's that subscribe button. And as always, folks, remember to rock on. We'll see you on the next one.